unique. What attracted you to custom hat making? Why is this an art form that?
I think it's an art form that's, I know of very few hatters that actually make it an art form. Most hatters have been around this business for 50 years that just know a hat as a hat. Whereas me, because I'm an artist, because my family were artists, I have to make an art form out of it. I mean, to me that's fun. I make it fun. I have to make it fun. And in turn, people get something that they don't see from other hatters. It's a custom-made hat. That's a given. But to make it their hat, I mean, people always say, what makes a good hat? It's got to look like your hat.
And so your art background helped you to apply that to the hat making. What other kinds of art things have you done?
You know, my folks were, my dad was a scrim sander by trade, which was etching on ivory. And I kind of followed suit. I did that for a while. I did some sign painting for a while. That was a nice art form that he did, and then I did it after he did it. So he always enjoyed me doing that because he always helped me with color. And all these things are not even done anymore. Sign painting is a thing of the past. Now it's all done on computer-generated, ugly. No one's into colors. No one knows how to mix colors, how to match colors. That's all done.
So in custom fitting a hat to someone, you have to pay attention to the color.
I think definitely. And really more with women, because women are really into color. And even the ones that are not, I make them get into color. I mean, to me, I make somebody look better in a hat than without the hat. And I mean, that's a killer combination for me, is to get them, when they wear the hat and put the hat on, they say, oh, I look better in the hat than without the hat. So the colors is very important.
Your artist's eye would have to be applied to, you've got lots of different styles of hat, I'm sure. Yeah. You have to.
It's, you know, the basics of hat making is frame a face with the crown and then balance a brim. And that's just, in those simple two things aren't even done anymore. So I mean, people always say you're a frou-frou hatter, but really what I do is I copy. I've found 80, 100-year-old books on hat making, and that's what I do, is I basically copy it. That's what they used to say to do, is frame a face with the crown, balance a brim. So it's simple. I keep it simple, but in turn, nobody does that. And it's always that thing of custom that makes it fun for me. The funnest part is meeting somebody and then, you know, saying, let's create for you. And then executing it. It's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to execute it. That's important.
So how do your customers find you? I mean, and I imagine they're pretty surprised to come in and find out that they have to participate in this process.
They are. Especially in Mancos, Colorado. We're in this town of 800 people. Four Corners area is not a big mecca for money or the beautiful thing about Mesa Verde is, or Mancos, the surrounding area, is this is how Colorado used to be. So many people come here that are from Boulder or Denver or Colorado Springs, and they say, this is what Denver, this is how Colorado used to be. So how do I do it? My website, nateshats.com. People always email me questions. I get a ton of people that send me pictures of their hats, and in turn send me pictures of themselves and say, now here's how tall I am, here's how much I weigh. Well, because I get into that on my website, as far as like, let's look at you, let's figure out a good design for you. So through my website, I do a lot of retail shows. I do Arabian horse shows. I go to quarter horse shows. I go to Indian art shows. I go to powwows. Of course, when I go to powwows, I'm going to be the only hatter there, obviously. That's about it. I do some mailing, and I have this retail space here. And I also have 2 wholesale accounts.
I'm sure when someone sees somebody in a good hat and they're looking for a hat, they say, hey, where'd you get that?
It's definitely, word of mouth is like probably my best tool. I mean, all these are tools. The website's a tool, the storefront's a tool, the shows are tools. All these make up something good. There's not one thing, and there'll never be just one thing. I mean, that's what makes it, to me, that's one of the things that makes it fun, is that I experience all those things. I mean, next July I'll be in Virginia for a Arabian horse show. I just got back from a show called the Rolex. It's a 3-day English riding in Kentucky, and it draws in 100,000 people. So yeah, those are very good things for me. And name recognition is the important thing. People are just getting to know my name. It's weird, the circles that Julie Newmar, the original Catwoman, when she called me, she didn't say, "Hi, this is who I am." She said, "Your fame preceded you, and I want a hat for a friend of mine." Her friend now is Frederick Jackson, who is one of the original designers for Mattel that designed a Julie Newmar doll back in like the 50s. And in turn, they both they've seen my website and they love the hats. And I've talked to them both about hats. They're going to make them.
In the shop, I see some celebrities wearing wearing your hat. Do you have?
I apprenticed and I worked with a shop that we probably made over 100 celebrity hats, and through that I've kept a lot of those celebrities now that I've opened my own shop, Nathaniel's, 6 years ago. Maybe one of my biggest is not an actor, he's a director, Barry Sonnenfeld. He's directed a number of movies. He's had about 20 of my hats. He mentioned me in Esquire magazine in the winter edition for his wish list of things he'd like to have. So that's a nice thing. Then right now I've been making hats for a guy, Josh Bernstein. He hosts a show called Digging for the Truth on the History Channel. Yeah, so through him, I just sold a hat yesterday to a guy from Houston, Texas. I'm making a hat for a guy in Washington State. I'm making a hat for a guy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, all because of Josh Bernstein. So, and it's another hat. It's another whole different hat. It's more of a hiking, fishing, I call it the Explorer. And that, as the name is, so is it. I mean, people can explore in that